Hello, everybody. It's been a minute since I streamed, but I am back for this special occasion, breaking news story, absolutely heartbreaking, gut-wrenching news for most Star Wars fans out there. When I saw this news, I had to go on a walk. Let's pull it up, shall we? Oh, wait a second. See if more people want to tune into the chat so we can bask in my pain while we talk about the incompetence of Lucasfilm and the current state of Star Wars. Woot woot. How you guys doing? Wow, we got 20 concurrent viewers ready. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. Let's go to the chat for a bit. K. Dusel says, TBH, it wouldn't have been good anyway. Although Kylo was the best character in the sequels, he wasn't ruined like Rey and Finn. 67. Of course, any movie and any idea can sound good and then be bad and vice versa. I don't know. The concept of it I love so much. Same here, man. Same here. Thanks, Captain Luma. Rodfilm says, hey, Goldman. I love speculating about Star Wars, so this news is exciting. Let's say they did move forward with this. I'd imagine it'd be like how the rescue Jack from Davy Jones' locker in Pirates 3, where Kylo would be in some sort of purgatory. I could be down with that. Any extra Star Wars contents in the sequels is more than welcome. Yeah, I know, we're Geo's chilling. We're in the minority here, but I definitely agree with you. Rodfilm says, could also be maybe Rey goes to rescue him. Based off of the concepts, it doesn't sound like Rey would be involved, but I don't know how Rey could not be involved, you know? But Finn thinks it's a bad idea, so the movie could also have a conflict between them having opposing views on it. I don't know, man, so many things you could do with it. I would pay so much money to read the script. Thin Vo says, what is the news? Oh boy. Let's discuss. Let me share my screen. Alrighty. Adam Driver pitched Kylo Ren's Star Wars standalone movie with Steven Soderbergh, but Disney rejected script. One of the coolest projects I had ever been a part of. You know how hard this is for me? I feel like I've moved on. Now, I don't know how many of you are familiar with my views on the newer Star Wars films, or how many of you have been around for a while. I am someone who really likes / borderline loves The Force Awakens and The Last Jedi. The Rise of Skywalker, I think, is an awful film. Terrible film. Now, I don't hate what they did with Kylo Ren in that movie, with the exception of him dying. Like, I'm glad he was redeemed. I thought that was the best direction to take his character and the one that honors the themes of Star Wars. But killing him seemed like such a waste, and it's so heartbreaking. This dude suffered his whole life. You know, Palpatine was in his head. Snoke was in his head. Granted, we don't know the entire story. This dude felt like he was never loved by his parents, and then he turns good, and then dies because he revives Rey. Now, I like the gesture of, giving your life to revive Rey. I just wish... Am I a Reylo? Like, maybe. I'm a sort of kind of Reylo. Like, I think it could have been a cool direction. And you know who agrees with me? You know who also doesn't like the ending of The Rise of Skywalker? Adam Bleepin Driver. He also doesn't like it. You know why? Because he wrote a script, or he was a part of a project where Kylo Ren would come back to life. Let's keep reading. This is from Variety, by the way, which is like a major news outlet. There's no bullshitting here or whatever. Adam Driver and Steven Soderbergh almost brought their own twist to a galaxy far, far away. Can you see my mouse? You can't. You can see my highlight. By the way, I'm not super familiar with Steven Soderbergh's filmography, but I've heard everyone say great things. In a recent sit-down with AP, I think that's the American Press, whatever, Driver said that over the span of 2 years, he and Soderbergh developed a script called The Hunt for Ben Solo. The film would have taken place after the events of The Rise of Skywalker and followed drivers Kylo Ren, aka Ben Solo, on a search for redemption. Soderbergh roughed out the story with Logan Lucky screenwriter Rebecca Blunt. Scott Z. Burns later joined to pen the script. I was always interested in doing another Star Wars, Driver said. I'd been talking about doing another one since 2021. 4 years ago. Kathleen Kennedy had reached out. I always said, with a great director and a great story, I'd be there in a second. I loved that character and I loved playing him. Like, I'll get back to that in a second. It's just so telling and so revealing that they had conversations about bringing Kylo Ren back 2 years after he was killed off. Now, it's one thing to resurrect Palpatine. What was it? Like 36 years after he was killed off from Return of the Jedi? Fine. This is 2 years later. And Kathleen Kennedy was like, I like the idea. I greenlit J.J. Abrams' script where we killed him off in the end. But 2 years later, oh yeah, let's bring him back. Driver described the film as handmade and character-driven, comparing it to 1980's The Empire Strikes Back. Now, everyone says that. That doesn't mean much to me. The White Noise Star said that the film is the standard of what a Star Wars movie should be. Soderbergh and Driver pitched The Hunt for Ben Solo to Kathleen Kennedy, Dave Filoni, and Carrie Beck at Lucasfilm, who loved the idea. So Kathleen Kennedy, the woman who cancels projects out the wazoo, she also liked the idea. We presented the script to Lucasfilm. They loved the idea. They totally understood our angle and why we were doing it. We took it to Bob Iger and Alan Bergman, and they said no. They didn't see how Ben Solo was alive, and that was that. Now, fair. Like, they just killed off Ben Solo 2 years ago. Probably shouldn't make a movie about him. Now, if you also know my channel, and you know my views on shit like this, you would also know I tend to hate character resurrections. I think there is almost nothing you can do more that undermines your franchise and your universe than resurrecting characters repeatedly. This is the one exception. Ben Solo is the one exception because his death was pointless. I shouldn't say pointless. His death was disappointing. Let's go to the chat. Star Wars Hour says, if Rise of Skywalker ended differently, I'd be more down for the concept, but I think it would continue the tired trend of resurrecting dead characters. See, you're not wrong. The thing is, I just don't care. Resurrect Kylo Ren, please. Palpatine, no. Boba Fett, no. Don't resurrect anyone else. Just resurrect Ben Solo. Say he didn't die. He just went to Force Purgatory and they brought him back. Marion says, hi, everyone. Thanks for tuning in. Reading the script would just make me more sad, lol. Yes, it would, but I would have some closure. Like, I could then make that my headcanon, and I could go to bed at night knowing that Ben Solo was brought back to life in alternate universe. I believe Ben Solo is alive, yes. I'm in denial, but I think after the kiss, him fading was his projection like Luke did from below where Palpatine threw him. That's such silly storytelling, but I don't care. Just bring it back to life. Tell more stories with Adam Driver. Lucasfilm cast. Is casted a word? Lucasfilm had Adam Driver play this character. They had Adam Driver play the son of Han Solo and Princess Leia. And he turned out to be one of the best working actors today. Adam Driver is such a good actor. He is an amazing actor. And we got him in Star Wars. And then they killed him off. Never to return. Now, hey, there's a Rey movie out there. I'm happy about that. Probably won't ever get made. I can have my hopes up. But if we had a Kylo Ren movie, I want to start like a Snyder Cut movement for this movie. There's a lot of theories out there that the reason Adam Driver brought this news up is to kind of like put pressure on Lucasfilm to say like, hey guys, Lucasfilm, there's clearly a demand for this movie. People didn't love the sequels, but they certainly loved this character. Bring him back. I hope that theory is correct. I hope Adam Driver is playing this kind of 3D chess. Captain Luma says baffling decision. It is baffling, especially since, assuming they had these ideas in 2021 and then he said he worked on it for 2 years. Did we get to that part? Let's go back to the article. Lucasfilm denied to comment. Soderbergh told AP of the experience, "I really enjoyed making the movie in my head. I'm just sorry the fans won't get to see it." Driver agreed, calling the project one of the coolest bleeping scripts I had ever been a part of. So Adam Driver and Steven Soderbergh worked on this project for 2 years. And he mentioned it in 2021. So let's say it was canned sometime in 2023. Fine. It's like they spent money. Bob Iger said no. And I kind of get his reasoning. The sequel trilogy was really divisive and whatnot. I can get behind that. But then they also greenlight projects like The Acolyte. They greenlight projects like Skeleton Crew. Now, I liked Skeleton Crew, but no one watched it. It's like they've been greenlighting these projects that just waste money and bomb. It's like, oh, let's give Captain Marvel a sequel instead of Adam Driver, Kylo Ren. This is the same Disney that brought Palpatine back to life. Yeah, exactly. And there's a lot of hypocrisy that people point out. Like, I was all over Twitter, and the comments were hilarious. Where it's like, just so much Ben Solo love. Like, I haven't seen a single person say this is a Ben idea. Every Reylo and Ben Solo fan right now. It's like, yeah, me too. Count me in. Yeah, I love this. We don't know how to bring Ben Solo back. Also Disney. Somehow Palpatine returned. I hate this. I think I had a tweet up that showed everything. Here we go. Quick rundown about details about the hunt for Ben Solo. Adam Driver initiated the movie as he had unfinished business with Kylo Ren. Adam Driver initiated this movie. It's not like Disney was desperate to bring back the character. Adam Driver wanted him back. He hates The Rise of Skywalker. Adam Driver hates The Rise of Skywalker. Said after The Rise of Skywalker would have revived Ben Solo. Intended to have a lower budget than the sequel trilogy. Like, each sequel trilogy film had a budget of about like $200 and $250 million. It's a big blockbuster, and I think the Star Wars movies deserve that kind of budget. Make this a bit lower stakes. We don't need giant-ass space battles in a Hunt for Ben Solo movie. It could be like a $100 million film. Make it cheaper. Inspired by The Empire Strikes Back, sure. Steven Soderbergh was brought on to direct. Someone wrote the script. Kathleen Kennedy and Dave Filoni approved. Bob Iger shut down the movie. And this was a tweet I made. I said, I'm so dramatic. I said, I'm heartbroken. If there was one character I would love to be resurrected, it would have been Ben Solo. His death was a fucking waste, and Adam Driver agrees. The fact that this was a real possibility and Bob bitch-ass Iger rejected it is devastating. 326 likes. Hey, Kylo's trending on Twitter. Just come on, guys. I can doom scroll Reddit and just continue to make myself miserable. He had unfinished business with Kylo. That makes me so sad. Adam Driver hates The Rise of Skywalker. I would too. Let's go back to the chat. My theory is that if this Snyder Cut movement is successful, the Rey movie would tease or continue into the hunt for Ben Solo. If they told me, say, hey, we'll bring back Kylo Ren, but it'll be in 10 years, fine, I can wait. I'll wait 10 years. I'll wait a decade. Just bring back the character. Honestly, knowing Lucasfilm, they probably should cancel the Rey movie too. They're probably going to. I hope they don't, but they probably will. Especially since they have such little faith in the director, Sharmeen Obaid-Chinoy. Like, has she done anything since? I have no clue. There's so much lost potential in this idea. Like, having Ben reflect on his actions and try to atone for them. They could explore his relationship between Ben and Han, Leia and Luke. I couldn't agree with you more. This is my thing. This is my like philosophy when it comes to redemption arcs. almost all the time, redemption through death or redemption through sacrifice is a cop-out. It's an easy way to say, oh, this person deserves to be redeemed because they gave their life. And in the real world, I think that works. The thing is, in storytelling, I think it's a cop-out. It is a cop-out. You know what would be harder? It's easy to give your life to someone, actually. It would be harder to actually atone for your sins, try to right your wrongs, apologize to the people you hurt, and continue to do better after that. Hot take. I don't know if that's a hot take or not, but that's my hot take. Oh, sorry. Like, have Ben Solo live. Have him atone for his sins. Have him confront Poe and Finn. Say, like, hey, guys, sorry. Yeah, it could have been a great character-focused narrative. Now, the thing is interesting, right? If you think about it, if the movie's called, like, The Hunt for Ben Solo, you'd assume that Ben Solo is not actually the main character. Like, you know, if you're searching for him, right, then it's like, so you probably find him towards the end or something. I don't care. Would you make a theory video on how you would write this script? That's an interesting idea. Probably not. But I'll think about it. Brennan Cable says, I hate to say it, I agree with Bob Iger. And that's fine. I think it's such a missed opportunity. And I love that Twitter is totally on board with this. Ben Solo is basically Jason Solo. Fun fact, I'm going to be that guy. Jason was spelled Jacen. Still hoping for a Clone Wars type show around Poe and Finn. You could bring back Kylo Ren, have that be the plot. You know, if you can bring back Darth Maul. They brought back Darth Maul in the Clone Wars. And the ending of the Clone Wars is so good. The ending of the Clone Wars is so good, and it prominently features a character that died and was resurrected. Like, I think one of the highest rated episodes of all time on IMDb are the episodes of The Siege of Mandalore. They featured a resurrected character. I think there's some malarkey, like, going on here. I bet you really Bob Iger is just like, yeah, it has nothing to do with him being dead. We just don't want to be associated with the sequel trilogy. But then why greenlight a fucking Rey movie? That's the thing, right? There's no consistent thinking here. If your belief is, I don't want to make stories off of characters that died, and I don't want to resurrect characters, fine, I can respect that. You greenlit The Rise of Skywalker, which featured Palpatine. You greenlit The Book of Boba Fett, which featured Boba Fett. Like, I'm probably missing a bunch of other characters that were killed off and then brought back. Moff Gideon dies at the end of every Mandalorian season, and he's brought back. And that's not really the same, but still. So there's that inconsistent thinking. It's like, oh, we don't want to bring back a character who's dead, but we've continued to do it, keep doing it again and again and again. And then there's the other side of the coin, which is like, okay, if I'm Bob Iger, I'm like, you know what? Adam Driver, your movies were too divisive. I just don't want to make any more movies about your character because it reminds people of movies they don't like. Fine. I can get on board with that. But then they're making a Rey movie. Clement says, a great actor, a great director, a great writer, and probably a great movie. Release the Kylo Ren movie. Yeah, I agree. How would you like to see them approach resurrecting the character? Like, something silly with the Force. I don't know. Like, we can try and brainstorm this, right? How would they resurrect Kylo Ren? I don't know. Like, say the movie's about Rey, you know, they can say, oh, the dyad in the Force, you know, Ben Solo's still out there somewhere. Ben Solo lives within Rey, and then she goes to, watch, you know what they could do? They could do this, right? In the Ahsoka show, you know how they're currently on Peridia, and, like, Balin's going off somewhere to find the Mortis guns. Maybe he finds he finds something there, and he's like, oh, we can resurrect people. Well, not that. He's like, oh, we can tap in deep into the Force and find people. And then they find Ben Solo. We're not there. It's like, because that takes place in the past. So they tease it in the Ahsoka show, and then the Rey movie is about them going to Peridea as well. And then there, they find Ben Solo, and then they bring him back. Or he's just not dead. Like, maybe he was actually just, like, transferred somewhere. Like, maybe the Force saved him or something. I don't know. Like, he died, and then he woke up somewhere else. Like, he woke up on Luke's island, and he's like, help, I'm stranded. Like, I have no ship. Andrew Film says, it's double standards because they'll only bring back dead characters from Lucas's movie instead of characters from the Disney movies. Fair. Great point. Maybe more details will come out in the coming days from Lucasfilm or otherwise if the buzz is big enough. Like, I kind of want to start spending a few hours a day just retweeting shit on Twitter, just so, like, any attention can help. Anything. I could see it working like a Star Trek Search for Spock type of way. Never seen it. Hey there, I'm definitely curious as to how a Ben Solo movie could work. It's a thing. This is tough for me to think of. I feel like I've had a lot of ideas. Say if I was put in charge of Lucasfilm, I have a lot of ideas of stories I would write, and like I have decent outlines in my head. But this, I have no clue. But they had a completed script, supposedly, or at least a consistent draft. A well-realized draft. I'd pay so much money to read it. I just want to read it. You know what? Because you know how the Duel of the Fates script leaked a few years ago? Duel of the Fates was the alternate version of The Rise of Skywalker, Episode 9, the one that was written by Colin Trevorrow before he was fired. And then all that concept art leaked. Someone made a comic book that's like an entire version of Duel of Fates. And I thought it was pretty cool. Like, I kind of want to spend money, print it out, and just have it in my library. If a script leaks of this, then someone can make that comic book. And then I would buy it. I would subscribe to someone's, like, Patreon and say, yeah, you know, just, please, like, give me. Let me consume some more Kylo Ren content. Night Sea just finished Andor Season 2 was so peak. Yeah. You know, it's like the one good thing they've done lately. Who or what would even be the villain, hypothetically? That's tough. Thing is, Rod Films, I have a tough time conceptualizing the movie. It's like I struggle to write down ideas and think about how it could work. But Adam Driver and Steven Soderbergh had a completed script, and Adam Driver loved it. It's like, I believe there's something out there. I just need to spend more time thinking about how this story could work. Like, who could a villain be? I don't know. Some random guy. Like, maybe it's actually a guy in the Resistance or something. Like, someone who's a part of the Republic who's like, yeah, Kylo Ren did a lot of bad things. Like, maybe we shouldn't bring him back. An interesting perspective. At this point, I unfortunately don't think this movie will ever get made, even with fan outcry. I don't think it's too late for Adam Driver to reprise his role as Ben Solo in the future. Yeah, I mean, yeah, if I had to bet money, I'd bet this is not going to happen. I mean, there's a reason why Bob Iger said no. But who knows? Like, this is an idea that's timeless, right? You can resurrect Ben Solo at any point. He'll just be a little bit older. It's not like they're concerned about the character aging out unless they want to wait 30 years to bring back Ben Solo. Kylo is one of my top 3 favorite Star Wars characters. Han Solo, Hondo, Kylo, Ahsoka are my faves. I mean, I think my 3 would be Luke, Vader, and Kylo Ren. Chris Schober says, was Luke Skywalker's Force Ghost going to be in the hunt for Ben Solo? Like, that's an interesting idea. Mark Hamill did say he was done with Star Wars, but who knows? They throw $1 million at him. Hey, can you be in a few scenes in our movie? Sure. Because keep in mind, someone like Mark Hamill is not a mega wealthy man. Because he's had a successful acting career, but not as like an A-list actor. So let's see, like Mark Hamill net worth. Oh, the AI says he's worth at least 20 million. That's more than I thought. But still, you say, hey, I'll give you $500,000 to appear in 10 minutes of the movie. Maybe he says yes. And then no one loves marketing nostalgia more than Lucasfilm, so they could put Luke in the trailer. Ben, I'm glad you're back. So goofy. Well, I think it would be cool if, Civil War type thing between Rey, Finn, or anyone else in the Resistance about just the idea of Kylo. Yeah. Maybe that's what the Rey movie's about. Hey, bring back Kylo Ren. I don't know, guys. I just feel like I needed to vent about this. You know what's funny? I was looking at this. Like, I was just on YouTube, and like, just a lot of people who I know who don't love the sequels are making videos about this, and I think it's hilarious. Bob Iger should go to jail. I completely agree. This has to be the biggest missed opportunity of the Disney era Star Wars. I don't know if you guys can hear this. Can I audio input capture? No. What if I did this? What if I did macOS capture, add existing? Chrome. Right, let me know if you guys hear the video. Hopefully you do.
Opportunity of the Disney era of Star Wars. Adam Driver's disappointment in the handling of Kylo Ren's storyline has been made very clear over the last couple of years. But in an interview today with the Associated Press, he discussed how much he would love to return to the franchise in the future and further explore Kylo Ren. And since 2021, he was in talks with Kathleen Kennedy to do so. He and director Steven Soderbergh have been working on a post-Episode 9 movie about Ben.
No, this isn't the real Eckhart's Ladder. Even Star Wars Explained.
This Ben Solo news has been wild. In an interview with Associated Press, Adam Driver had this to say: "I always was interested in doing another Star Wars. I'd been talking about doing another one since 2021. Kathleen Kennedy had reached out. I always said with a great director and a great story, I'd be there in a second. I loved that character and I loved playing him." He then said he took a concept to Steven Soderbergh for a film that would take place after the rise of Skywalker. A story was outlined that the group then pitched to Kennedy, Lucasfilm vice president.
I think my Chrome crashed. Oops. Oh well. That's funny. Eck won over on his main channel. I'll have to watch it later. Just like now I just want to look up like Ben Solo movie news. It's like, what are they doing? Like, I just want to watch like videos on this now. I don't know if I have anything else to say. Like, we could sit here and watch a bunch of other people's videos together, but I imagine the movie more like a spiritual road trip for Ben Solo. Maybe it's like Ben Solo's in the world between worlds, and then he does some goofy shit. Yeah, I don't know. This is devastating news. Absolutely heartbreaking. Yeah, I really hate Bob Iger too. Andrew Films. All right, I think I'm gonna wrap up the stream. I did my vent. I'm good. I'm relaxed. I can't move on actually, but I'm just gonna watch videos on this for like the next hour, just so I can like cope. All right, I'm gonna wrap up the stream. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I appreciate it. I do want to stream more in the future, so we'll see if that happens. So yeah. Thank you everyone so much for watching another one of these streams. Don't forget to unite the Cloud Squad. I'll see you guys next time. Enjoy the rest of your day.